Welcome to the Music Festival Quiz, Volume 2. From the indie tent to the after-hours dance floor, 15 bangers you need to name in 5 seconds. Let us go. Question 1. Dublin post-punk meets LA studio energy. Name this festival banger. That was Starburster by Fontaines, DC. From 2024, recorded in Los Angeles, a long way from the Dublin streets that made them famous. Frontman Grian Chatton described the writing as psychedelic anxiety made audible. They opened their Coachella set with this track, Cold, no warm-up, and the crowd went feral within 8 bars. Question 2. North London, No Mercy, cinematic production. What is this track?
Big time driller, monkey to gorilla. Who is this woman that I'm seeing?
That is Gorilla by Little Simz. From the Mercury Prize-winning album, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. Producer Inflow built it to sound like a film score colliding with grime. When she headlined the Westholt stage at Glastonbury and performed this live, she silenced every critic who had ever doubted her in one 4-minute set. Question 3. No beat, just piano and a voice. And yet it destroys stages. What is this?
Why don't I do it for you?
That is Cellophane by FKA Twigs. From 2019, she wrote and recorded it while recovering from emergency surgery to remove 6 fibroid tumors. Stripping out all the production was intentional. She wanted nothing to hide behind. The result is one of the most devastating festival stage openers ever made. Question 4. Gothic Americana, soaring guitar, small town heartbreak. Name the track. That is American Teenager by Ethel Cain. Part of her debut album Preacher's Daughter, a gothic concept record about religion, violence, and growing up in the American South. She recorded large parts of it in her car with a portable setup. That chorus has reduced audiences to tears at festivals across the US and Europe. Question 5. UK bedroom production meets New York drill. A whole crossover moment. What is this? That is Boy's a Liar, T-2 by PinkPantheress and Ice Spice. PinkPantheress produced the original in FL Studio using the free demo, which does not even let you save your work, so she memorized the whole arrangement. The collaboration with Ice Spice turned it into an international #1. Both artists were virtually unknown a year before it dropped. Question 6. Dreamy, bilingual, and completely irresistible. What is the song? That is Telepatia by Kali Uchis. Written during lockdown when she could not see the person she was in love with. She released it quietly in 2020, and it went almost unnoticed until TikTok picked it up 2 years later and turned it into her biggest song. The bilingual lyrics felt natural because that is literally how she grew up speaking. Question 7. A scratch vocal became one of the most played festival anthems of the last 15 years. What is it? That is Titanium by David Guetta featuring Sia. Sia wrote it in 40 minutes as a demo for another artist and was never meant to keep the vocal. Guetta heard her scratch recording and refused to change it. The result has been played at more festival main stages than almost any other track from the 2010s. Question 8. The song that is literally a season. Name it. That is Summer by Calvin Harris. From 2014, it was the first track he ever produced, wrote, and sang entirely by himself. That synth riff alone can transform any field into a beach party. It reached #1 in over 20 countries and still closes summer DJ sets worldwide a full decade later. Question 9. This drop was made by a 17-year-old. His label said it would never chart. Name it. That is Animals by Martin Garrix. Released in 2013 when he was just 17 and still in school. His label told him it was too hard and would not chart. He released it anyway. It went to #1 in multiple countries and became one of the defining drops in EDM history. At festival volume, that bass hit is still physically painful. Question 10. UK Garage. 1 vocal performance, 2 careers launched simultaneously. What? That is Latch by Disclosure, featuring Sam Smith. From 2012, at the time, Sam Smith was virtually unknown. Howard and Guy Lawrence behind Disclosure were 18 and 20 when they produced it. It launched both acts into the stratosphere overnight and became the defining crossover between UK garage and pop. It still sounds like it was made yesterday. Question 11. 9 minutes of slow build that makes grown adults weep at Coachella. What is this? That is Inner Bloom by RÜFÜS Du Sol. From 2015, every second of the track's 9 minutes builds on the last. They performed it at Coachella, and the crowd openly wept. It has become one of the most beloved songs in festival culture, the kind of track that makes a field of thousands feel like one person breathing in exactly the same moment. Question 12. 1 repeated piano phrase, 7.5 minutes, and it will make you miss your 20s. What is it?
You check the charts.
That is All My Friends by LCD Soundsystem. From 2007, James Murphy built the whole track on a single piano motif that never changes key. He wrote it about the creeping feeling of getting older and watching the nights out slowly disappear. At their farewell Madison Square Garden show, the entire audience sang every word back to him. Music rarely manages moments like that. Question 13. No lyrics, just this guitar line. You will know it in 2 seconds. What is the track? That is Intro by the XX. The opening track from their 2009 debut. Jamie XX built it purely as a mood, not a song. It has appeared in more film trailers, TV shows, and festival walkout soundtracks than almost anything else from its era. Hearing it live in a tent at 2 a.m. with no words needed is one of those festival experiences that stays with you for years. Question 14. Hardcore punk energy collides with a melody hook you cannot shake. Name it. That is Mystery by Turnstile. From their 2021 album Glow On, Turnstile spent years building a reputation in hardcore circles before this introduced them to a completely different audience. Their Glastonbury 2022 set was called one of the greatest festival performances of the decade by NME. The crowd had no idea what to do with the energy, so they just gave in. Question 15. The final song. Traditional folk melody meets relentless house groove. What is this? And that is La Danza by John Summit. From 2022, Summit built his name in Chicago's underground house scene before this pushed him into festival mainstage territory. The groove samples a traditional folk melody and locks it into something you cannot resist at 4 a.m. under open skies. That is all 15 songs. How did you do?